This is Great Day Houston, Hope After Harvey.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Great Day Houston, Hope After Harvey. What we hope to do with our next several shows is to give you information to help you rebuild your life. As many of you know, KHOU 11 Studios went underwater during Harvey, and so our home away from home is Community Faith Church. We want to thank them for giving us a space to bring you this program. What you're hearing a lot of people say who are directly affected by the storm is, show me the money. Well, the money is out there, but there is a process to get to that money. So joining us first is Leo Skinner, and he is with FEMA. Good morning, Leo.
Good morning. Thank you.
All right. I think FEMA is probably one of those things that's out of sight, out of mind until you find yourself needing it. And then when you need it, I think it's very misunderstood what FEMA is meant to do. So give us kind of the layout there.
Okay, well, FEMA stands for the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And what we do is we help people get on the road to recovery. We don't make them whole by any means. There are other agencies like
when
the
you say
SBA.
Like make you whole, because there are a lot of people who kind of misunderstood and they said, well, FEMA will help me pay for my house, right? My house was destroyed. That's not the case.
That's not the case. FEMA will help you with some housing issues, maybe put you in a hotel. FEMA can give you some home repair grants, possibly. FEMA may be able to give you rental assistance for a couple months, just to get you back on the road to recovery. We have limits with our grants. So other agencies like the SBA, Small Business Administration, are there to get you back to where you were before.
Yeah, all right, but before you can even access that money, there's something that we all need to do if we were impacted by the storm, and what is that?
Well, we're encouraging people to register for assistance by going to disasterassistance.gov. Even if you talk to the Red Cross and registered with them, you still have to register with FEMA. Now, we have a hotline too, but people have had a hard time getting into the hotline. So the number for that is 1-800-621-3362. If you're going to call that number, try to do it early in the morning or late in the evening. But really, we encourage you to register first. If you don't register, we can't do anything for you at this point. All
right, we have some audience members here today who are impacted by the flood, or certainly we all know someone who is impacted, so they have some questions for you. And I'm going to start with actually a Facebook question, which is from Fam, and she says, I have flood insurance, but it doesn't cover housing. Is there a way FEMA can help me instead?
Well, FEMA can help with those unmet needs from your insurance. So it might be possible she could register with FEMA, or they could register with FEMA, let FEMA know that they don't have access to their house, they can't get in, they need a place to stay, and FEMA may qualify them to go into a hotel or motel.
Okay, and how long does it usually take to get that kind of money?
Well, we don't give money for the hotels. We put you into a hotel, and FEMA pays for that directly with the hotel, so you don't get a voucher or anything for that program. FEMA pays for all that.
Okay. All right, let's go to our audience. We have Courtney. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Good.
And
how are you?
What is your question?
I wanted to know, I really want to help and donate, but I wanted to know what's really needed.
Okay, she wants to donate to the flood. I ran into you shortly after the flood down at the George R. Brown, and we saw piles of clothes and things which were needed initially. Right. But right now, what's most needed is what talks loudest, right?
Well, we've learned some lessons from other disasters like Hurricane Katrina and Rita, where we probably still have clothing in warehouses over there, I would assume. So we're encouraging people to go on, it's a website, nvod.org.
Okay, nvod.org.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
And you can donate through that, or we'd always encourage donating money to your favorite charity. We talked about this earlier. If you have a favorite charity in your neighborhood here in the city, work directly with them and donate money directly to them.
Yeah, and by the way, a little bit later on, we'll talk about with the Better Business Bureau, just kind of some other things to look out for, but how to donate and make sure your money's being used for your best intentions, and then of course how to make sure that you're not scammed, because right now it's kind of crazy with
a lot of
all the
scammers out there. One thing I want to remind people about FEMA, once you register, we don't charge for any of our services. So if you get a call that says, well, I can help you get a federal money, but you're going to have to give me some money to do that, that's a scam.
Yeah, and also if someone calls and says, we are FEMA, you're not calling people and telling them you're FEMA, are you? Or are you, if you need to get in touch with them, we can verify that.
We can. Normally what we do, we will begin what we call casework. That means if you're in a hotel or you're getting rental assistance, we will have someone call you and just check in on you. Well, what's going on? What's your status? How's your house coming along?
Yeah.
When do you plan to move out of the hotel?
But they're not asking you for money.
They're not, will never ask for money.
All right. We have Deborah Harris. Good morning.
Good morning.
And what's your question?
My question is, I work with, or I have a group of colleagues who are forming work parties to try to help their colleagues and people in different communities. They're volunteering. They're concerned about what are the requirements, what kind of evidence do they have to have for FEMA. They've already started tearing out some of the drywall and other things, and they're just trying to make sure they have evidence. They're taking pictures. They're trying to make sure they have adequate evidence.
Yeah. All right. So requirements for FEMA before an adjuster comes out and takes a look at the damage.
Well, one main problem we have is some adjusters, or some inspectors we call them, and they have identification. So they can't get into the homes because some of them are underwater. However, if you get a call from an inspector, meet the inspector at your home, and they'll need some information, your identification, probably a utility bill that this is your house. They need some proof that you're a citizen and that you live in this home. And then what they would do on their laptop will input all the information. If you need to start cleaning up, please don't wait for mold to hit. It's hot outside.
It just
mold
makes things worse.
Just makes things worse. So take some pictures if you can, but clean up. The inspectors are really good at looking at the walls and knowing how high the water came up, and knowing how much repair you need, how much repair money you may need to get back.
Yeah, and that's a good point, to clean up so you can actually see where the damage is. You don't want them to miss something because there's so much stuff around and get less in return for that. All right, Mary, hi.
Hello. My question is, where is the location for FEMA?
For the
that
offices?
you can, yes, a FEMA office that you can go in and speak to a live representative.
All right, so I know you all were down at kind of the crisis points for a while there, but are there actual physical offices? Some people are just better at sitting across from someone and being able to talk to them.
Well, I feel much better if I'm sitting face to face and talking to a federal representative, and a lot of people like that. So we currently have 4 offices open right now, and I brought my cheat sheet if that's okay.
All right.
We of course have the one at the George R. Brown Convention Center. It's on the Rusk Street side, and you have to go in from outside. You can't go through the center to get there.
Okay.
And then we have the Edna High School in Edna, Texas. We also have one at the Colorado County Services in Columbus, Texas. And then we have the one, LaGrange Recreation Center in LaGrange. You can get these if you go on disasterassistance.gov and kind of find, we have queues up there and let you know where these locations are. When you come there, make sure if you've registered, that's fine. We would like you to do that before you come. But if you haven't, we won't turn you away.
Right.
So bring documents about your home, your identification, your FEMA registration number, that 9-digit number that everybody gets. That's the key number that you need to get in and get some help.
All right, when you go on to register, what information do you need?
You'll need, of course, all your identification, your banking information. If we want to direct deposit money into your account, we can do that. Some people have been getting critical needs grants up to $500, and that's been helping for the short term for them. So when you come in, bring that, bring information about where you live, if you have any social security card, those kind of things. Documents so we know who you are and where you live.
A lot of people are having a tough time getting around because cars went underwater. So is there a reason for somebody to have to come in and sit down and talk to you?
There's no reason you can have to come in.
You do it all
once you
online?
register, you can do it online, and if you can check your status update online. Normally what's been happening, once you register, FEMA will either email you or text you the information about your application status, whether it's pending or not. Some people have lost their cell phones.
Yeah.
Some people don't have bank accounts or don't have emails. So I would say work with your family member. Maybe a family member has a phone or an email address that we can contact you. If you move from one place to another, call FEMA and let us know where you are, because we can't provide you the grant money unless we can find you and get a hold of you.
Yeah, all right. Another Facebook question, this is from Tara Lincoln. We hear there is a hotel program, so who can use this? You touched on the fact that you could probably get $500 grant to use for a hotel, but who qualifies for this? I had somebody say to me the other day, she goes, we've lost everything we had, but our income bracket doesn't show that we're suffering, but we are.
Well, that was a little different case, but what I'll tell you about our transitional housing program is that we currently are renting 18,000 rooms. Wow. For families here in Texas, with over 1,400 hotels. So that's a huge number of people, and hopefully there are more than one person in each one of these hotel rooms. So to qualify, you call FEMA or register online, let them know that you can't live in your house or apartment. Of course, we help renters as well. You can't live there, it's underwater, it's destroyed beyond repair at this point, and FEMA may qualify you to go into the program. You'll be notified by email or text that you're qualified for the program. We'll give you a list of hotels. You make your own reservation for that hotel.
All right. Now, there are two things going on here. Some
Yes.
is money that you get and forget about it.
Right.
Other is money that is going to be a loan, and people have to understand that.
Well, some people will receive an application from the Small Business Administration to apply for a loan. I use the example, let's say you have a $100,000 house, and FEMA can only give you a full maximum grant is $33,000. Where there's that leftover money, how are you going to get that? You know, so you may, if you're offered an SBA loan, you should go ahead and apply. You don't have to take it necessarily, but if you don't apply, FEMA assistance for other needs stops there.
Yeah.
So if you get the loan application, file for it, keep it in your back pocket. When the time comes that you need to get that loan money, go ahead and take it, and you'll be able to rebuild back to where you were before.
Yeah.
SBA
At a low interest.
At a lower interest. SBA works with people on their mortgages, with your current mortgage. They'll work with your bank, and that low interest loan can really be helpful down the road.
All right, Leo, what's the biggest misconception that when people come up that you have to correct people on, that we can at least make sure people understand?
Well, as I said earlier, FEMA is here to give you a hand up, not to provide you total 100%. We're in this, FEMA's in this with the SBA, city government, the state, other federal agencies, HUD's involved as well, as you know, helping with housing. We're kind of all in this together. Volunteer organizations, church-based groups like you have here today, they're all pitching in. Some of them go unnoticed and unthanked, but we know they're all there together to get people back to where they need to be, back on that road to recovery that you talk about, getting them back into their homes safe and secure.
Yeah, you mentioned unnoticed and unthanked. Let me thank you, because you're not from here. What you all generally do is get someone from out of the area, so you don't have somebody who's struggling to put their own life together, right? So you came down here in response to this.
Well, we have FEMA people from all over the country. I'm from Ohio, and we have people, if you put a U.S. map on our wall, you'll see that there's pins from everywhere in the country. People have come all over. Plus, we have thousands and thousands of people back in regional offices and headquarters, other federal agencies that are supporting this disaster and possibly supporting the disaster over on the coast that may be coming here in the next few days. So this is what I do. This is my job. I love coming out and working with media like you and getting the word out to those survivors that really need help.
All right, Leo, thank you very much. I saw you down at the GRB.
Yeah.
There were folks who were so frustrated, but you kept very calm, and you were very good at trying to guide them to where they needed to go. So
Well,
thank you very much.
Well, thank you for having me.
All right, you touched on the fact that FEMA is not going to ask you to give them money,
Right.
and so people need to be careful about those possible scams out there. So when we come back, Dan Parsons with the Better Business Bureau tells us what he's already seen, what to look out for, and if you're giving to a charity, the questions to ask.